In this video, we're going to be talking about one of the 7 deadly sins, which is sloth. Sloth is a sin like no other, and it's a key chief sin of our age. It's invisible, it's hidden, and it will kill you with your consent. And that is what's most scary about this sin, is that you can't even see it. It's like cancer. Imagine if you had cancer in your body. And imagine if you could not detect it. What would happen? Of course, you would die. Even if you can detect cancer, there's no guarantee that you're not going to die. And it's the same thing with the cancer of our soul, which is sin. Sin is cancer in our soul. And sloth is an especially dangerous cancer in our soul that can kill us. And if you die, since this is a spiritual death, you will go to hell. Spiritual death leads to hell, or what's known as eternal damnation. So it's very important that we understand these 7 deadly sins and how to recognize them and fight against them. That's the reason I'm giving this series on the 7 deadly sins, and specifically today on sloth. So what is sloth? We'll tell you right after this. Welcome, my name is Brian Mercier, the founder and president of Catholic Truth. We're an organization dedicated to proclaiming the truth of Jesus Christ and the Catholic faith. We give conferences, retreats, parish missions, we do books, we do CDs, podcasts, YouTube channel, we have everything. So please check out our website, www.thecatholictruth.org. What is sloth? Sloth is the equivalent of laziness in regular life. Laziness makes us just lay around on the couch. It prevents us from doing what we should be doing. It prevents us from doing chores or watching the kids or doing that which we're supposed to be doing, but we just don't feel like it. Maybe it's lying around on the couch for hours, or maybe it's just every day we just binge watch hours and hours and hours of Netflix or some series or movies or something, video games, and it prevents us from doing what we should. Maybe we're supposed to be doing chores. Maybe we're supposed to be picking up someone from this place. Maybe we're supposed to be doing that, but we just don't feel like it. So we're gonna lay here a little bit longer. We're just gonna relax a little bit more. We don't wanna really work ourselves to death. We just wanna take it easy all the time. And that is laziness. It's a sluggishness that prevents you from doing good. Laziness affects people in regular life. Maybe they take too many naps. Maybe they just sleep too often. Maybe they don't do the work that they should because they're too busy scrolling social media instead of working at their job. Whatever it is, laziness affects many people. And in the spiritual life, it's the same way. Sloth is spiritual laziness that prevents us from doing what's right in our faith with Jesus Christ, in our relationship with God. It's like putting shackles and chains on your arms and on your ankles, and it holds you down and prevents you from going where you want to go, from rising up to where you need to get to, and from doing what you need to do. It's a spiritual laziness. And the key word associated with this is feel. I don't feel like praying. I know I should pray, but I don't feel like it. I don't feel like going to church. I don't feel like doing this or that. I don't feel. And we don't do it because we don't feel like it. That is the language of sloth. In a sense, it's a spiritual tiredness. St. Thomas Aquinas once defined sloth like this. He said, sloth is a sadness arising in the heart, coming from the knowledge that the good is difficult. I'm going to say that again. Sloth is a sadness arising in the heart, coming from the knowledge that the good is difficult. Now, think about that. It's a sadness arising in your heart. It's sad. We're sad. Why are we sad? Because the good is difficult. We know what's good. St. Thomas Aquinas says we can see the good. We know what's good, but we don't do it because it's difficult. It's too hard. We don't feel like it. And that is scary. And it prevents us from doing what we should. Again, I know I should pray. How many people say I know I should pray, but then they don't? I know I should be going to church on Sundays, but I don't. I know I should go to confession. I really got to get to confession. How many times have we said, I really have to do this? I have to do this, but we never end up doing it, or so rarely that it doesn't even matter. How many times I've said, oh, I really got to work on that sin. Oh, I have to work on this fault. I got to work on following this commandment a little better. And it's a nice thought in our mind, but we never actually get around to doing it because it's only a nice thought in our mind. That's sloth. Sloth sees what's good. It knows what it should do, and it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. This should scare us because it prevents us from getting to heaven. We know the way to heaven, but we aren't going because we don't feel like it. That's what it comes down to. Really, if you don't pray every day as a Christian, there's only one reason why you don't pray every day, and that's because God is not important in your life. God is not important in your life. He's not a priority. That's the reality. If God was a priority in your life, you would pray every day. That is as simple as it comes. But God's not a priority in your life, and so you don't pray. Or you want him to be a priority, but you're held down by the spiritual sin of sloth, which sees that I should be doing this, but I don't because I'm too lazy. I'm spiritually lazy and I don't feel like it. I know I should be going to church. I know I should be working on this sin. I know that I'm addicted to pornography, or I gossip too much, or I do this or that, but I don't feel like working on it. I know I should, but I never do. And it's a sin that's killing me and dragging me to hell because it's preventing me from doing what I should. And this should scare us. It should scare us. Some people substitute reading or discussing religion or practicing apologetics in place of an actual prayer time with God, or in place with reading the Bible or praying the rosary or practicing meditation and contemplation. They read about God, or they discuss God, or they argue in defense of God, but they don't have a relationship with God, so all of that means nothing. Our good works mean nothing if we don't know God and have a relationship with him. And why don't we do these things? Because it's difficult. It's difficult to find time to pray. It's difficult to take time out of our day to do the things we should and to reprioritize our life, to put those things that are more important in first place and deprioritize those things that are really not important that we are making gods and idols in our life. The deadly sin of sloth can be summed up in one sentence. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. That is the motto of sloth. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I have good intentions. I really do want to go to heaven. I really do want to have a relationship with God. I really, really do want this stuff, but I never do anything to get it. So it's just warm wishes and nice desires. And the road to hell is paved with those because we don't get to heaven through warm wishes and nice thoughts and good intentions. We get to heaven by doing what is right, by following Christ, by beating down our laziness, by beating down our idleness, by beating down our idolatry. And you might even find yourself struggling with this in quarantine right now. In 2020, during this COVID virus, where we're stuck at home all the time, you might find yourself lazier than ever. Some people are praying more than ever, and that's great. Don't lose that after quarantine. Other people are having a hard time finding the time to pray, even though they're stuck at home all day. They just don't make time for it. So we need to make it a priority. We need to beat down sloth. We need to hate it, and we need to pray for the corresponding virtue, which is fortitude. Fortitude is what you desire if you struggle with this. Fortitude is the gift of the Holy Spirit that gives you the supernatural strength to do what's right, even when it's hard. It gives you the supernatural strength to overcome spiritual obstacles in your life. It gives you the grace to do what's right and to get you to heaven, even when these shackles are trying to pull you down. Fortitude will free you from the chains and shackles, so get on your knees and pray for fortitude. It is a spiritual turbo booster. I used to play a video game way back in the day, and it was a race car game, and you had nitros, and you had to stock up on them. And every time you used a nitro, smoke would come out your exhaust, and you'd speed ahead ahead of all the other cars. You literally get this boost which would push you forward. And it's kind of like the gift of fortitude, which is a gift, a weapon of the Holy Spirit, which gives us the grace to do what's right, even if we're standing alone. Even if we don't feel like it, we do what's right because it's right. And that is the only thing that gets us to heaven, by following Christ, really following Christ, not in our mind, but in our action. We're not saved by faith alone, by doing nothing. We're saved by faith that lives itself out of love for Christ and his commandments. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions on this, feel free to put it down below. Feel free to ask any questions on spiritual sins, deadly sins, anything like this. And if you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments below. And please, please, please share this important message with other people. Share this. Get it out there. This is a sin that is killing, literally massacring our generation. And we need to stop. Enough with the laziness. Enough with the sloth. Enough with saying we're going to follow Christ. Follow Christ already. Do it. Stop saying you're going to do it. Stop saying you're going to go deeper. Stop saying you want to have a great relationship with Christ. Do it. Put everything else aside and make Christ a priority in your life. It'll only change your life and bring you more peace, joy, and happiness than you've ever had in your life. So follow Christ. And please pray for me that I can do the same. I will be praying for you as always. And if you can, please support our ministry so we can reach the world with the truths that set us free. Like this video, subscribe, and share. God bless you.